Welcome to CoreTV News at 7 with me, Sabena Izoku. Battle-ready soldiers have reportedly taken over the Adoke Amiesimaka Stadium located in Iguruta Ali in Ikwere local government area ahead President Goodluck Jonathan's campaign rally in the stadium. Jonathan is expected to be at the presidential rally of the People's Democratic Party in Rivers State in January 28. While the state government refused to approve the application from the state PDP for the use of Adoke Amiesimaka Stadium for its presidential rally, soldiers reportedly took over the place on Friday night. Tony Okocha, Chief of Staff to Governor Rotimi Amechi, described the action of the PDP and the presidency, who might have directed soldiers to forcefully enter the stadium, as criminal. Okocha called for calm and promised that the matter would be reported to the international community. Political thugs suspected to be working for the People's Democratic Party in Rivers State invaded the venue of the All Progressive Congress governorship rally in Okrika local government area in early hours of Saturday, destroying equipment being set up for the exercise. The arm used, according to the APC chairman in Okrika, Christian Asifamaka, shot sporadically at about 3:45 a.m. at the venue of the party's governorship campaign. Asifamaka said in a statement that the hoodlums threw dynamite into the National School field venue of the rally in Okrika, destroyed the podium already set out for the program and other facilities in the arena. Wife of the President, Goodluck Jonathan, Patience, hail from Okrika. River State Commissioner for Information and Communication, Ibn Semenitari, said more youths had invaded the venue of the APC governorship rally for the second time and continued with the destruction of equipment mounted at the place for the exercise unchallenged. Semenitari explained the policemen who were with the armed personnel carrier drove off, adding that the APC supporters were currently under siege in Okrika. Following the attack of the convoy of President Goodluck Jonathan and the leaders of the People's Democratic Party in Katsina and Bauchi State by the alleged supporters of the All Progressive Congress, the presidency on Friday cautioned the opposition party to rein its supporters. Special Advisor to the President on Political Affairs, Ahmed Alkali, said in a statement, captioned, "This nonsense must stop," that the action of the APC supporters was a negation of the non-violence peace pact signed by recently in Abuja by all presidential candidates. He said the successive incidents in Katsina and Bauchi states where irate youths unleashed terror on the convoy of the president was an ominous wind that blows no one any good. The presidential aide added that a situation where any citizen of Nigeria, least of all the president and the commander-in-chief of the armed forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, will be made unsafe in any part of the country was unacceptable and stands condemned. The Senate President David Mark has condemned what he described as consistent attack on the President Goodluck Jonathan and the People's Democratic Party. It says the action of the people suspected to be supporters of the opposition is an affront of democracy and a betrayal of the recent peace pact endorsed by the political parties and their candidates. Mark, who spoke at the flag of the Federal Capital Territory, PDP, Presidential and National Assembly campaign in Buhari Area Council, said the attack is condemnable by any right-thinking member of the society. He noted that campaigns are avenues to tell the electorate what has been done and what is planned for them, not a battlefield. The Senate President also maintained that the PDP will never be intimidated in any part of the country. The Independent National Electoral Commission is not prepared to tinker with the dates set aside for the election next month. The INEC chairman Atahiru Jega said on Friday that no logistic challenge can stop the presidential election from holding on the 14th of February. Jega spoke at the launch of an EU-sponsored project on preventing electoral violence in Abuja. Basi Ai has the report.
It's a few weeks to the 2015 election, and not surprising, politicians are stepping up their campaigns. But a number of people have also been selling the idea of a possible shift in the election for varying reasons. For the NSA, the large stock of permanent voters' cards still lying uncollected at INEC's office is enough reason. but the commission chairman is not prepared to entertain such thoughts.
I have said everything we are doing, including the challenge of the distribution of permanent voters' cards, we believe is something we can address long before February 14th.
Jega, however, maintained that INEC will not relent until eligible voters pick up their PVCs. The INEC chairman also quelled fears that registration in some wards had been cancelled.
Any person who has registered would have his voters' cards produced and made available for him or her to pick so that they can participate in the election.
And now that the Electoral Commission insists on holding elections as scheduled, it plans to ensure logistic challenges are resolved on time.
There have been lapses in some cases by contractors moving without security arrangement. But the key issue really is externalization. People are looking for ways to externalize this, and something that is small can easily be addressed. Before you know it, is headlines in newspapers and so on.
The gathering is one in a series lined up to generate awareness and keep stakeholders abreast of preparation for the all-important January election next month. Basia Ye, CoreTV News, Abuja.
A coalition of 60 civil society groups has rejected a demand by the National Security Advisor Sambo Dasuki for next month's election to be postponed. The Nigerian Civil Society Situation Room described the excuses given by the NSA as an unnecessary interference in INEC's independence. The coalition recollects that the Commission's chairman, Professor Atahiru Jega, recently assured the civil society organizations that every effort will be made to ensure that the intended voters collect their PVC before February elections, and therefore urge INEC to put measures in place to ensure unhindered and speedy distribution of any outstanding and uncollected PVCs. The civil society organization also wants Nigerians to go out en masse to collect the PVCs before the end of the exercise. One of Nigeria's 28 registered political parties, the People's Democratic Movement, has resolved to back the presidential candidate of the All Progressive Congress, Muhammadu Buhari, in the February 14th elections. The decision was taken at a National Executive Council meeting in Abuja. The PDM chairman, Bashir Ibrahim, said in a communique, he said at the end of the meeting that the party leaders considered the track record of Buhari and that the incumbent president, Goodluck Jonathan, before making a choice. The party says it has 6 million registered members across the country and will mobilize them to vote for the IPC candidates on the February 14th. It, however, noted that it will be fielding candidates for other elected positions. With the February 2015 general elections around the corner, the president of the Women Who Rise, Joe Odimaki, has challenged women to cease playing dormant and stereotype roles in politics. Odumaki, who was on a sensitization tour in Lagos, Ogun and Oyo State, says it was high time that Nigerian women started taking their future in their own hands.
I want women to realize that nobody must ever use us as spare tire. We can never ever allow anyone to use us as spare tire. And no one has the right to talk down on anyone except you've given such a person the permission. Our women must be respected. Our women remain a great life wire for the survival of any entity. And we must always have one thing at the back of our mind, that whatever we do, we must remain good example, positive role model, worthy of emulation.
For her part, a former president of the Nigerian Bar Association, Priscilla Kuyi, says the issue of sex should not be a barrier for a woman to achieve whatever she wants, especially in politics. A point strongly backed by the presidential candidate of Kowa Party, Remi Sunaiya, who added that women should equally participate in politics like their male counterparts.
So, these are things militating against the women participating in politics.
We want competent, capable women who will be able to stand and speak their mind and be able to contribute significantly to the development of our nation.
The State Governor Ayodele Fayose has again taken a swipe at the candidature of the presidential flag bearer of the All Progressive Congress, Muhammadu Buhari. Fayose speaking at the PDP's campaign rally in Ekiti North Senatorial District while drumming support for the candidates, defends the death wish advertorial placed in 2 national newspapers. He insisted that he is unapologetic and stands by his words in the advertorial.
This is politics. It's politics. Like every politics of the world in America, everybody says exactly the high points of your candidate and the weak points of your opponent. That's politics. And like I said, I have no apologies. I'm saying the obvious. I meant every word in that advert. I am not apologetic about it. I say it emphatically, Nigeria needs a young, dynamic, active individual to lead this country. We don't want a president that will rule by proxy. I stand by that advert.
Let's go for commercial, and when we return, there'll be more stories for you. Don't go away.
There comes a moment when my heart must choose on this great path I've chosen, like a house that is a home. Sometimes I feel like it's not enough, and I know that we can't give up. You've worked me to be all I can be. Now nothing can stop me.
I believe Lagos is a place where I can achieve my full potential.
I believe together we can build the Lagos of our dreams. I am Akinwumi Ambode.
Vote Akinwumi Ambode for Governor of Lagos State.
Welcome back to the news. For more information, you can reach us on our social media platform, and that's on facebook.com/CoreTV News and on Twitter @CoreTV News NG. And for other programs, you can join us on our YouTube. That's youtube.com/CoreTV Space and the news. President Goodluck Jonathan has released 26 billion naira for dry season farming in the country. He announced the palliative to thousands of farmers who converged on Abuja for this year's Agriculture Festival. President Goodluck Jonathan also used the opportunity to reel out his achievements of his administration in the sector. The report.
These farmers are here at the Eagle Square, a usual venue for political rallies. But today, the occasion is different. They are here to showcase their agricultural produce. It also provided a campaign platform for President Jonathan to outline his achievements in the sector. He announced the immediate release of 26 billion naira for dry season farming.
To further boost the efforts to produce more food for our nation, I am pleased to announce here today the release of 126 billion naira towards the 2015 dry season farming program. I'm here today as the president. With the support, I hope to be here next year as the president, and then I will do even more for you, for our farmers, and for our dear country.
President Jonathan also reeled a list of his achievements in agriculture, including how local rice industry is thriving. The man driving reforms in the sector told the gathering that there is no going back on efforts to make farming more attractive to young people. The agriculture minister gave an insight into some of the initiatives the Jonathan administration introduced into the sector.
Just yesterday, in my office, checks worth over 123 million naira were given as grants to 27 young agripreneurs. You have opened a great future for them.
Mr. President, the harvest is bountiful all across our land. In the past 3 years, we have added 21 million metric tons of food to our food supply. Inflation has been on a downward trend due to higher food production. Agriculture has created fiscal buffers for the economy, and our food import bill has declined. We are feeding ourselves with pride.
These young farmers are full of gratitude for government's agricultural programs that are targeted at the youth. They, however, appeal for more support for farmers in rural areas.
We, the farmers, the young farmers, if we receive this kind of encouragement from the federal government, I think we are going to go places. Because right now, we are well aware that the price of oil has fallen in the national market. So now this country is looking up to us, the youth, to come into agriculture because we have more energy to work.
The president has really tried when it comes to agriculture, in the sense that there was a You-Win program organized for youth. I was one of the participants of the just concluded WAP program organized by the MDGS and the NYSC, which is used basically to empower people in the agro-allied sector. And yesterday, I was at FDA, Federal Department of Agriculture. They were giving grants to some youths that has made themselves successful in the field of agriculture, basically. So in the field of agriculture, he has really made a tremendous stride, and at least he should be given kudos for that.
The farmers were thrilled to different displays by Nollywood actors and actresses who were there to spice up the occasion.
Now turning attention to Ekiti State, where the Governor Ayodele Fayose has signed the 2015 appropriation bill into law. Fayose, who promises to execute the budget to the letter, also signed, amongst other bills, the law to repeal the establishment of the Ekiti State Peace Corps. The Speaker and the leader of the PDP caucus in the State House of Assembly, Dele Olugbemi, used the opportunity to call on the 90 APC lawmakers to return to their legislative duties. Rashid has more on this.
At a brief ceremony that saw the governor sign 4 bills into law, the Speaker and leader of the PDP caucus in the House of Assembly, Dele Olugbemi, expresses support for the government of Fayose as he advised APC lawmakers to resume their legislative duties.
The APC lawmakers who have constituted themselves into a roving ambassadors should choose the path of honors and come back home to join hands with the present administration. They should wake up to the realities of things in the state and stop daydreaming. This is my honest advice to them.
The Governor Ayodele Fayose, who signed the 2015 budget into law, also signed into law the change of Ekiti State logo back to the Fountain of Knowledge, with a promise that education will get special attention.
Today, the fountain, we want to sustain the water in it. We want to actually make it a fountain of knowledge. And this budget is going to play a major role in the handling of education.
The bill to disband the Ekiti State Peace Corps created by the Kayode Fayemi administration was also signed into law.
The Ekiti Peace Corps, the original conception of it was to be used for things other than the good of it. And for us, they are only answering the name, but the intention is different. We have a police, we have other agencies that can enforce the laws of the land. And therefore, the law that has established the Peace Corps in Ekiti has been repealed.
The governor also signed into law the grant of pension bill. Rashid, CoreTV News, Ado Ekiti.
Be outside Nigeria right after this commercial when we return. Just stay with us.
I believe in Lagos.
I believe in opportunities.
Mo ní ìgbàgbọ́ nínú òwò tó lérè. I believe in youth empowerment, jare.
I believe in big business.
I believe Lagos is incredible. Together, we can build the Lagos of our dreams. I am Akinwumi Ambode.
When the world comes together as one, I believe
Akinwumi Ambode for Governor of Lagos State.
Welcome back. In outside Nigeria, thousands of mourners gathered Friday for the funeral of two young teachers who activists allege were murdered by soldiers in northern Myanmar, just as the government promised an inquiry into their deaths. Tearful well-wishers packed into a hall in Myitkyina, the state capital of war-torn northern Kachin state, to pay respect to the two women whose death sparked an outpouring of public anger and grief. The crowd swelled into thousands and spilled out onto surrounding roads as service began, according to a witness at the scene. A battered body of the women were discovered early this week when students visited their house in a remote village near the border town of Moose in northern Shan State, worried after they had failed to turn out for morning lessons. The Kachin Baptist Convention, which ran in school where women worked, has said it believes they were raped and severely beaten.
I am campaigning for true justice for the two teachers who were brutally killed and raped. We demand safety for women. We are not safe in this country. We want the government to ensure that the criminal acts by the army are judged in civilian courts.
And that wraps up the news at 7. Thank you very much indeed for watching. I am Sabana Izoku.